This is how you know that Tetris is an esport. A Western player can't win. I'm just kidding. So the easiest way to get better at Tetris 99. So first, just raw speed. Speed is probably going to be your most important thing in the game. So just first off the bat, if you don't, being able to build quickly is literally the tech skill of Tetris. You can't build fast. You don't have access to as many pieces, and the game becomes a lot harder. So that's step one. You need to I was so close to an all clear. You need to build fast, right? And step number one is literally just learn how to build Tetrises quickly. Building faster gives you access to more pieces. It allows you to defend against bigger attacks. So by default, you need to be able to learn how to build fast. It's like the equivalent of playing a fighting game but not being able to do the moves on command, and then playing against people that know how to press the buttons and know what they're doing, right? So that's like the very base level of like Tetris. I would say from there, given that this is a modern Tetris variant where you have cool spins, tucks, and all sorts of techniques that are available, I would say the next step after, as you build fast, you always want to learn how to build faster. The next step is, I would say, learning like little techniques and integrating them. So how you would do that is you just force yourself to integrate things. So for a while, I didn't know how to T-spin, and what happened was I had to slowly integrate it and force myself to play very intentionally to maximize the number of T-spins I could get in the game. And it made me slow. I lost a lot of my natural speed from it, but I needed to integrate these techniques to become better. This is the same thing as learning in Melee, right? Shield dropping wasn't a thing for until 20. I mean, people knew shield dropping existed, but it wasn't an integral part of the meta until when did Sung win that SSS? Like 2014-ish? And as a result, people realize, shield dropping is actually really good. It's broken, and if you don't, and it gets you so many positional wins where it used to be checkmates. Like if you're on a platform and somebody was hitting you from below, it's a really rough position for the person on the platform. Shield dropping changes certain positions completely because it exists, and so, but it didn't happen overnight that people were oh yeah, I'm just gonna magically shield drop everything. People had to force themselves to integrate it into their games because the button inputs are probably very unfamiliar for most players. And so over time, you see pros gradually integrating it into their game. But there were people like Mango who were very slow to integrate shield dropping, saying it's only for nerds. But eventually he learned it. And that's because he forced himself to put it in tournament. What he would do eventually, and I said hey man, you cut this nonsense. You have to learn how to shield drop, man. And so he did, but what he had to do was he had to practice and integrate it. So whether it's T-spinning or playing a different style, or learning a different build like 4-wide, you just simply have to force yourself to learn, to do it until it becomes natural, right? There's not too many things come naturally in the game. And if you come from old Tetris, building T-spins are probably not natural. 4-widing is probably not going to be natural. So I would say that. So once you get to that phase where you're integrating more things into your game, I would say the other important pieces are it's a lot of fine tuning, and I think a lot of games at high level just become a game of inches. So watching your own games, watching VODs, watching other people play, and I like to do this like visualization technique. So when you watch other people stream a game or at high level that you are interested in, don't just watch it kind of mindlessly. Just like play in their shoes, play with them. So what you do is, as situations come up, a certain piece combination comes up as they're playing, before they show you what the answer is or what they're gonna do, just think like, what would you do in this situation, and see if it lines up with what the person's doing. And if it does match up, then it's like interesting. Okay, like you thought similarly here. And if it doesn't match up, you can ask yourself why. Like, why is the mindset different? Is my move better? Is their move better? And you can learn a lot through just observing other people and playing along with them and pretending that you're the mastermind. I would say that's a really good way to improve like your decision making, is just to watch through the lens of another player and ask yourself what you would be doing in every decision, and then breaking down like what is so different about them. That's in cerebral games. Like, I would say that technique works really well in a game like chess, where it is heavily based on decision making. But even in games like Catan, when I actually want to learn the game a bit more, I'm still bad at Catan, but watching really good players play and then hearing like the commentator talk about their moves and give insight to how this gives them an edge, or like where they're looking out for, what are they defending against, actually helped my decision making in Catan a lot. I actually like watched competitive Catan for a while. So yeah, that's like what I do. You can ask pros questions. That's also like a good thing. And so I'm just like talking from the perspective of like all video games, not just Tetris, but like this is like the way that you get good. And then as you discover things, you just constantly want to just ask yourself questions, and just examine your own play constantly. And I think speedrunners like Cosmic, like when they play, they probably have a pretty solid process, and I think you can use them the model that speedrunners use to maximize their time. They theorize the game, they integrate what they think is possible, they collaborate, and they're constantly looking for things. So first off, at a high level, they theorize what is the best route, what is the best way to do things, to get from the beginning to the end of the game, right? And then as they go along, they might have mechanical things that they need to work on, so they ask themselves, okay, like, what is the way that can maximize the chances, of me nailing this really strict, this shortcut or whatever that has a really narrow timing window, right? And so they try to figure it out. They eventually do, because they're speedrunners and they're geniuses, and they work really hard. And then from there, they just practice, right? They practice what they've been theory crafting, and eventually, they get the world record or something. But I would say speedrunning, if you want to learn, like, I love watching speedrunners because I love and recognize their dedication to mastery. So anyway, yeah, there's competitive Catan, and there's a lot of online websites that I forgot what the Catan website is, but I play on there from time to time. And when I first played, I actually like would lose a lot, and it's just because like I was getting knowledge gap like crazy in the game, and I didn't know all the little things that I can maximize to win games. So, I don't know. That was a pretty long-winded answer to the question. Hopefully, I addressed it. I would say the other part is this, right? Like, I go into flow state a lot when I play Tetris, because the decisions are... like, when the game gets really hard, I can't be thinking like what should I be doing at the time. That's usually reserved for like outside the game. So what ends up happening is like when I'm playing a game where I can only rely on natural reactions, because the game is going too fast. As I play, I'm refining my my mechanics, my ability to I guess execute the game plan that I've created for myself. But I'm so mad. Am I mad? Am I mad? Am I mad? Alright, there we go. I'm so ridiculous sometimes. But anyway, what I do is so going back to the thought as I show the ending. Oh, good games, Mr. Onion. 326 lines, 29 T-spins. So what was I saying there? So when I'm playing a game where speed, I can only rely on reflex and just gut reaction. I'm not thinking of optimizing my gameplay. Maybe some ideas will come up and I go like, huh, like that's an interesting spot. Like I should probably review it. But when it comes to like actual gameplay and competition, that's like the time where you're executing what you've thought through. And the times where like I'm refining my gameplay, my game plans, and what I'm going to be doing in that tactical decision making will happen when I'm not playing and when I'm observing and when I'm watching other people. This applies to Melee, right? Like when I go into a game and I'm in a tournament, like I'm already going to go off the game plan that I've planned, right? And if it's like Sheik Fox, like I've had thousands of hours of that matchup where by then, like I'm not coming in with new ideas. I'm merely focusing on the execution and being present to like what is being shown to me. But afterwards I'll analyze and go, okay, like in this spot I need to do this, this, and this, and then I can practice that right on my own time in friendlies or against other people or against like the computer, so that if those situations come up again, then like I have a better game plan. So that's like how I think about improvement.